Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. Just snap your fingers for a moment. Now think about being in a dream. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you meet? Who would you fall in love with? Would you take a magic carpet ride? Would you swim under the sea to find Ariel and see a better world for yourself? Would you fall in love with your true love and never fall out of love with him ever again? That's all I've ever wanted to give you. That's all I've ever wanted to do was create. Snap your fingers and come back to reality. Can you imagine if each and every single one of you hit my subscribe button? And what I could do for you if you hit the subscribe button? Because that's what it comes down to, is how many of you will hit the subscribe button? How many of you will find this YouTube channel and not leave without hitting the subscribe button? Because if you hit the subscribe button, I can create for Descendants and Zombies in a way that it was meant to be created for. These critics will finally go away on YouTube. They will no longer say anything negative about Descendants because I won't allow it. But in order for that to happen, each and every one of you have to run your finger over my subscribe button. You really got to do that, because if you do that, what will happen is Disney will see these videos on their search recommendations every time they're on YouTube. Jonathan Clarke on YouTube will keep popping up, and they will say Jonathan Clarke is really serious about being a part of the Descendants and Zombies franchises and securing the futures of it for each and every one of you. And you guys will have put up over 1 million subscribers on this YouTube channel, and I can finally do what's been a long time coming, years in the making, for Descendants and Zombies. Because I can promise you, each and every one of you, that I will never ever let you down. And I will take everything that you have to say into consideration about Descendants and Zombies, and I will bring it to life in a way that each and every one of you have been wanting to see it brought to life, and it's been meant to be brought to life for quite some time. But in order for that to happen, for creative freedom to be bestowed upon me and creative power with my knowledge, you have to hit that subscribe button, because you will change the course of history for the Descendants and Zombies franchises for the rest of your life, for the rest of eternity. I know how much each and every one of you miss Ruby Rose Turner. I know how much each and every one of you miss Dove Cameron. I can do something about that for each and every one of you, but you have to hit the subscribe button in order for me to be able to do that. To put me in a position of power, you have to do that. Because I can guarantee you there are no executives at Disney that care about each and every one of you, or somebody out there that cares about you as much as what I do, being a fan of Descendants and Zombies. People always ask me questions in the comments. Do I think that we'll see this pairing of Chloe and Red? Do I think that Nova and Victor will last the eternity and the test of time? Sure I do. Do I think we'll see mermaids in Zombies 5? Perhaps. But it will happen if you hit the subscribe button, because you will keep this franchise alive for forever. Disney will realize I have 2 million subscribers, and I can finally do something about it, because all I ever wanted to do for each and every one of you was create. But I can't create. I can create videos for this YouTube channel, but I can't create if you don't hit the subscribe button. Then what will happen are people like Kylie Cantrell, Meg Donnelly will find this YouTube channel, and they will realize that Jonathan Clarke is really serious about this stuff. And with Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim seeing their exit from the Zombies franchise, Jonathan Clarke will see his entry into the Zombies and Descendants franchises. And you can never believe, you will never believe what you will see. You will see the most amazing Descendants and Zombies movies and the most creative energy ever brought forth for a franchise that has deserved this. This has been years in the making for what feels like forever. When I first got my first look at the Zombies franchise, it was in February of 2018. I was like 25 years old. And I thought that this franchise had everything to be one of the greatest of all time. And with 250 million hours of watch time on Disney+, I think it could be better. It deserves a hell of a lot more credit than what it's ever gotten. I think the music could be more creative. I think it could be filled with more energy and more characters. And I don't really buy into what these critics are saying about how they're running out of supernatural creatures with the Zombies franchise. That is a bunch of bullshit. Because each and every one of you deserve a whole lot better than what you've been seeing. And you deserve to enjoy what you're seeing. And when I heard all these people criticizing, especially Zombies, I said, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? These kids love Descendants and Zombies. Why try to destroy any hope they have of this franchise lasting for forever? Why try to take that away from them? I've got to do something about that, regardless if they hear my voice or they don't, regardless if Disney notices my videos or not. And the thing is, over a year ago, I had no subscribers on this YouTube channel. None of you knew who I was, or perhaps maybe you did. I don't know, because I've got a pretty big following on social media. I've got a bigger following than any of my friends on social media. I know that for a fact. And I know for a fact that I'm one of the most followed commentators online, period, over the last 25 years. But I want to give you guys more than what you could ever imagine with the Descendants of Zombies franchise. I want to make sure it lasts forever. We all are put here on this earth to have a legacy that defines us and what we are defined through our legacies and the path that we carve. And all I've ever wanted to do was carve a path of unbelievable miracles for each and every one of you to make you believe that every one of your dreams were possible no matter what that dream was. And I talked about how Addison was a professional cheerleader, how Zed was a professional football player. You can have that happen for you too. You just don't have to watch it on the movies and think that it's just a possibility that could happen for you, because it really could. I mean, it's written in the stars. The words I love you are written in the stars. All you have to do is look close enough to find it. But I can promise you it's there. I can promise you your true love is out there just waiting for you to find him and fall in love with him. You just have to take a chance on it, and I never ever wanted to take that away from you. All I ever wanted to do was write the next chapter of Descendants and Zombies. All I ever wanted to do was sit on in front of a creative team of people and hear their ideas. All I ever wanted to do was be in a board meeting for Descendants and Zombies and say this wasn't going to work, that wasn't going to work, and this is what needs to happen. Because in that contract they send you, there are very, very lucrative details. And in the fine print of the contract, it states that Disney does not take any creative idea or bestow creative freedom on anybody who was ever a fan of the product. In this case, Descendants or Zombies. That is in the fine print. You have to look really close to find it. That was one of the reasons why I refused the deal. But I had a lot going on in my lifetime at that point in time. But I can assure you that if I get another offer from Disney, I will not be refusing it. Because I know each and every one of you deserve something better. You deserve to see people like Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim be given the credit that they deserve, not to be made fun of on YouTube videos to the point where they're not Googling themselves anymore or watching TikTok videos because the videos are absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to lie to you. I watch these videos of criticism for Meg Donnelly and Kylie Cantrell, and I go in the bathroom and throw my guts up. Because I think that they deserve a hell of a lot more credit than what they are given. Anybody who shoots scenes for a movie in New Zealand till 5 a.m. every morning deserves a hell of a lot more credit than what they are getting. I want to say that Malachi Burton is probably one of the best guys that has ever signed a contract for Disney, and I hope that he has a very promising future and a very exciting future to look forward to, because he's one of the very few guys on Disney that I'm actually really fond of for just how full of life he was. And I think Freya Sky is going to do an absolutely fabulous job taking the torch from Meg Donnelly and carrying it in her own way and the way she wants to be perceived. I think that young lady has a beautiful future ahead of her, and I just wanted to be a part of that as a creative writer or a director, because I don't know if anybody realizes this or not, but I have been very passionate about this stuff for what feels like forever. Ever since the first Zombies movie, I fell in love with the franchise. I thought it had something special. I thought it was very unique. It was one of the more different franchises for Disney, even though I was questionable about the direction of it and the characters and how the plot would unfold. I knew it was going to be something special for each and every one of you. And 7.5 years later, when people are still watching it, when they were watching it when they were probably 8 years old, that really tells me a lot about just how passionate you are about it and how much you love it. So when I heard people criticizing the music videos, Don't Mess With Us and Place to Be, I said, what is wrong with these guys? Why are they doing this? I mean, all the people who ever loved Descendants and Zombies want to do is just look up their favorite songs on YouTube and just dance to them. Learn the choreographing of it. Learn to appreciate the music for the message of it, which was a very powerful message of acceptance, which was a very powerful message of just being yourself and having people accept you and understand you for who you are. Being an introvert is very challenging. Sometimes you don't know if you're accepted in this world. You don't know if you're loved. You don't know how people feel about you because they talk about you behind your back. But I want everybody to know that everybody in this world is very equal. Everybody in this world deserves a fighting chance, and it should never be taken away from anybody. I want everybody to know on this YouTube channel that you are loved, and I wanted you to know that you were loved through the power of Descendants and Zombies, and that's why I created this YouTube channel. So much so that I moved into a home that was only 5 minutes away from a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. It hasn't exploded yet, but I wanted to feel what it would be like to live in a world where zombies and humans could coexist, and I like to believe that I achieved that. I also achieved creating a YouTube channel which has achieved worldwide popularity for my opinions on Descendants and Zombies. Initially, I had fallen in love with Dove Cameron, and all the emails I was receiving at that point in time in my career about Dove Cameron and Ryan McCartan's relationship. I think Ryan McCartan is an excuse of a human being for how he treated Dove Cameron, and he should never have gotten away with being so public, way too public, about his relationship and his thoughts with Dove Cameron and himself. And then he goes on social media and says that Dove has decided this relationship is not what she wanted. There's an obvious reason behind the reason why she didn't want that relationship anymore, nor the relationship with Thomas Doherty, which I didn't approve of either. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for having made me as famous as what you have on YouTube. It is very apparent that you have made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies, and you trusted me to create something special for each and every one of you. I think that this new cast for the Rise of Red franchise is absolutely fabulous. It is incredibly adorable, and it is incredibly adorable how much each and every one of you love it. That's why I create all these videos, and I don't think twice about having created all of these videos. It's never going to stop. I'm going to be here every single day talking about Descendants and Zombies and giving it the praise that it's deserved for years. This has been years in the making. You know, when I got a phone call from one of my friends a couple of weeks ago and he said I had to go back on YouTube, I had believed my career was over, but he said that, you know, your career is far from over because you haven't told your story yet for what it was worth. You needed to go back. And the more that I think about it, Josh was right. I needed to be here for each and every one of you. I don't know where he is, but he's right. Because you've deserved far better than what you've been hearing on YouTube for forever now. And it's time that somebody went out of their way to give that to you. And just not criticize Bridget for having been someone who was bullied in the script of Descendants, because bullying is a huge issue that is never addressed enough, and that's why I really appreciated how Ruby Rose Turner brought that character to life to offer us an explanation as to why the Queen of Hearts was so devious like she was. I really appreciated how Rita Ora did one of the most fabulous jobs of being a real-life Queen of Hearts and did one of the best representations of what the Queen of Hearts could have been in modern times. But I think that there is more of an explanation that could be offered as to why we got to the point that we got to. I think a lot of characters in Descendants were very underappreciated and didn't have enough of a significant role or time with the franchise, which is why I really miss Ruby. I want to put it out there that if I do get signed to create for Descendants, I will make sure that Ruby comes back. And how I will make sure that Ruby comes back is give her everything that she wants. Much less give everybody else what they want and make them happy. Because I think that creative freedom is the key to success. The creative freedom that needs to be bestowed on these stars will allow them to express themselves for how they feel inside and not how a script wants to perceive them for. And that's what's been lacking at Disney for a very long time. Sure, some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have been created out of the water of Disney, like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, mind you. But I think that more creative energy needs to be bestowed upon them, and the value of trust needs to be bestowed upon them, because I trust these stars. I trust in their message. I trust on what they want to do for each and every one of you, and I trust how they want to bring this to life. They just have to be given more of a chance to feel more exuberant, to feel more free, and to feel like they can be who they want to be and how they want to be perceived. I mean, you take the character Evie in the Descendants franchise, no backstory whatsoever, but she was so creatively free with her character, and I don't think she's ever felt so free in all of her life. She's more free now because she's away from Disney. But when she was the character Evie, she had no backstory whatsoever, and she created magic. So did Dove Cameron with the character Mel, the daughter of Maleficent, who had a backstory, but she also was creatively free in her own mind, but not as creatively free as she wanted to be. And that's all I've ever wanted to do for these stars. I don't want them to wake up every morning afraid to Google themselves because they're afraid of what they'll read, how fans feel about them. There are millions of critics of this franchise, but I have never quit on this franchise, and I have never quit on each and every one of you, just in the same perspective that you have never quit on me. I've had my heart broken more times than I could ever admit to on this podcast, but when I had my heart broken and had it smashed, like, you know that feeling when a sledgehammer is taken to your heart full force? Well, that's how I wake up every day, and that's how I feel every day. But I know I have this podcast to alleviate some of that pressure off of my shoulders, because I know each and every one of you love Descendants and Zombies just as much as what I do for whoever finds these thumbnails and they click on it. And there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that happens for this show that you don't see, the thumbnail creation, the promotion of the videos, which is very limited because I don't like to use AI to promote it with descriptions and stuff. I write up all my own descriptions. I throw up the video, and whatever views I get. I don't complain about it. And I just hope that someone is going to hear my voice and share in that same passion that I share in, that we all share in, that's brought us all together. The reality of it is, you guys are my best friends. And I can't thank you enough for having been my best friend for what feels like forever now. My career has been a journey in its own right. And I've been caught up within some of the most ridiculous situations of all time that no podcaster out there should have ever been caught up within. From pro wrestling to real-life vampires to this to that, to finding who I thought was my true love and then having my heart broken. But each and every one of you were always there for me, and you were always riding on the back of my proverbial horse, and you never quit on me. You always had me around the waist and catched me every time that I fell. And I just wanted to return that gratitude to each and every one of you to create in Descendants in a way that it was meant to be created, through the music, through the power of the script, and to really bring it to life in a way that it was meant to be brought to life, where we didn't see people exiting from the franchise, never to be seen or heard from again, saying to the media that they had told their story and they had completed it, no matter how many times they used the death of Cameron Boyce as an excuse to have closed that book on the story that they were telling from 2015 to 2019. There is way more of a story yet to be told, so much more of an incredible experience for people to be enthralled within. And I just wanted to give that to you, like how we saw Mel and Evie and Jay and Carlos go off to distant lands to spread the message of Auradon. That's a movie in its own right. A TV series called Auradon is a TV series that could easily see 7 seasons produced because of that idea. The thought of Ruby Rose Turner portraying the character Rapunzel is another idea in our heads that we've thought about ever since she announced she was leaving the Descendants franchise as a whole. All I ever wanted to do was make you all happy and give you something to be happy about. Not provide you with constructive criticism that you would make fun of, that you would feel heartbroken over and have tears in your eyes after watching videos. All I ever wanted to do was give you something nice to hear about your favorite franchises and stars that made up Descendants and Zombies for what feels like forever. And I like to believe that I did that night or day on this podcast. Every single time I turn on this podcast microphone, I like to believe that someone out there is going to hear my voice and take a chance on me, because one of the most difficult challenges as a podcast producer is if somebody is going to hear your voice and whether or not they are going to love the show just as much as you love creating it for them. And I think that a friendship between the host of the show and he or she's audience is something very critical. So if you have not hit the subscribe button, I want you to hit the subscribe button, because it will make a difference on this YouTube channel. It will leave a forever imprint on all of our hearts. That's all I've ever wanted to give you, was creative energy that was lacking in a lot of projects Disney did, a lot of franchises that Disney had promoted and put millions behind. I think a budget of like $3 million for each Descendants movie was not enough. I think by Descendants 3 the budget was up to $10 million, which was still a far cry from what could have been allowed for it. I know Disney goes by a budget, but when you're talking about a company that's worth $158 billion in revenue, there is so much more creative energy that could be bestowed on this franchise that I just wanted to give to it. I have a history with theater. I had studied theater for 4 years. I know how to project your voice so the back of the auditorium can hear you. I know how to bring your voice to life. I know how to record effort sounds. I know how to produce music. I have a hand in a lot of things. And I've seen a lot of videos of people on YouTube who try to sing these songs that they have written in their bedroom overnight that make no sense to me whatsoever when it comes to the lyrics. At least if you're going to write something from your heart that has a bit of meaning attached to it. Just don't write something for the sake of writing it because you're inspired by a band like Tears for Fears, which is a band that nobody's ever heard tell of since at least 1981, which was formed during the British invasion, or something like David Bowie. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. At least write something that is meaningful to you and what you want to be represented from, and write it from your heart, because your heart is your best friend. It's the best gift that anyone could ever be given, a friendship between yourself and your heart. And all you have to ever do is listen to that. And if you can succeed in listening to that and following the path that it carves for you, that it points you in the direction of every single time, if you can find time and trusting that, along with finding the words "I love you" in the constellation every night, then you're going places. You yourself will be a part of the Descendants franchise because you see yourself through the eyes of Ruby Rose Turner and have seen yourself through the eyes of Ruby for forever, or Dove Cameron, or Sophia Carson, whoever you idolize, whoever you see yourself through the eyes of. I have never seen anything wrong with loving Descendants as much as what people have, and or zombies. Beautiful, beautiful franchises that still have a long way to go. And I believe their stories may have been told so far, but are far from over in that same light. Thank you guys so much for having made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies. That was certainly unexpected. In the same light, it is a huge honor to have had that honor and accolade bestowed upon me. I never ever thought that I would be looked at as the voice of Descendants and Zombies. I just Googled myself, so I did the thing that Kylie Cantrell and Meg Donnelly are living in fear of. And this YouTube channel has exploded on Google. But can you imagine if every single person who watched this video or found this channel hit that subscribe button? How much of a huge impact and a significant impact in that same light could be made, and where I could go from here. I will never forget any of you. I will always be here for each and every one of you, and I will take your input on the Descendants and Zombies franchise and take under consideration and advisement what you want to see happen for it. Because I believe this is an incredible story, and so much more of a story that has yet to be told, and all I ever wanted to be was a part of it. Either as a vampire slayer for zombies, Addison's love interest for zombies, Dove Cameron's love interest for Descendants, the voice of the opening monologue of Descendants, a writer, a producer, a director. Either one of those job titles would sound fantastic. And the changes I would make, I think I would fire everybody in the social media department, but that's a different story for a different time, because I think creative freedom needs to be bestowed on these characters. Now snap your fingers again. Where would you go? Would you take that magic carpet ride with Jasmine and Aladdin? Would you swim under the sea to find Ariel and capture the Triton once again from Ursula? Snap your fingers again and come back to life. That can only happen if you hit my subscribe button. Because I also guarantee I will keep franchises of the past alive for forever, along with the franchises that mean so much to you now, be it Descendants and Zombies. And I can't forget to mention that I would love to go under the sea and shoot the bejesus out of a shark and fight thousands of zombies in either the Zombies franchise or Descendants by blowing the bejesus out of a shark, and attend anger management like Bruce did from Finding Nemo. I think Finding Nemo 3, by the way, and Frozen 3 are long overdue. I think they're calling it Frozen 3 inches, but mind you. Just because we've seen a total of 5 Descendants movies does not mean we can't see 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Just because we've seen a total of 4 Zombies movies does not mean we can see a total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with Nova and Victor's character lasting eternity and standing the test of time. Every single dream that you have can become a reality regardless of what that dream is or how far you have to go to achieve it, because the stars are the limit, and they are sometimes beyond limitations. All you got to do is look at them every single night, because we look at the same moon and stars every single night. And I know, because of how you guys have made me famous overnight, more famous than my girlfriend ever was. Thank you so much for that. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I know that I will go down in history for having been one of the greatest of all time, but only if you hit that subscribe button and change the Descendants franchise for forever. Disney will never tell you this, but you guys are the ones who are in control of that decision of making Descendants and Zombies last the test of time, stand the test of time, and an eternity. But it's up to you. As we watch this Descendants video together, I think there has never been a better time to hit that subscribe button. And let us know how you feel about Descendants and Zombies by hitting that subscribe button, so I can go from 2,000 plus subscribers to 5,000 plus subscribers overnight. So do it. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. What do you say we watch this Descendants video together?
Can we talk about what it's like to be raised in a dance house? Because it is different. Your mom's a crazy professional dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
No,
it's so cool.
It's also like a different level of like regimen and like dedication and consistency. And like,
It is.
dude, people don't get it. Like, to be a great dancer.
Oh my God. It's the most cutthroat industry,
Yeah,
I think.
It takes a lot of work.
The toughest people I know, and, I think the things you have to go through as a dancer are just unreal. First of all, it's like so taxing on your body, but also it's very humbling because like if you're not the best in the class, you're pushed to the back. Like it's as simple as that. It's very black and white. And dance teachers are so hard on you. I think it is like, anytime I meet a dancer, I feel like we speak the same language because it's like, oh, I get what you went through. Like also like the competition life of, I remember my mom literally like bedazzling my outfits and having to put rhinestone by rhinestone on my tutus. And, all the moms did that on our dance team. They were all like so involved. And it just takes so much driving to Vegas to do these competitions and driving back and driving to Palm Springs. And, my mom having to do these little bun mohawks that they would always make us do. And I'd be crying when she's doing my hair because it'd be so tight because she didn't want it to move when I was dancing on stage and hairspraying the crap out of it and all the bobby pins. It was intense. But I think just like that level of being in the studio every day, like 6 hours a day as a 7-year-old kid and doing that for years, like it just has made my skin that much tougher. And I think that's the reason that I'm able to function under, this system of Disney and working long hours on set. Like I think that transition was easier for me because of the fact that I was so used to just grinding at such a young age and being put under, just that crazy level of just scrutiny and also, the hours you put in and just how hard it is on your body. I think dancers are the toughest. I'm so grateful that was my foundation. I think it's helped me so much.
This is a huge honor of mine to be able to produce this podcast for each and every one of you the way that a Descendants and Zombies themed podcast was meant to have been produced. I want to say I am so sorry that you guys have found and have had to hear all this criticism from other people on their podcasts about Descendants and Zombies. My heart goes out to each and every one of you who I know love these two franchises so much, perhaps more than the other. Of course, some of you love Descendants, some of you love Zombies. It's pretty much evenly distributed down the middle. But all I ever wanted to do was spread a message of kindness along with talking about Descendants and Zombies, and you can help me out with that by hitting the subscribe button. I know I'm a really sweet guy, and hopefully you're going to take a chance on me and hit my subscribe button, because one can only hope that you're going to find these videos. I will try to come back tonight with a third podcast. I don't know what time it will be uploaded, but I hope you can join me for that. But until then, why do you say we take this opportunity upon ourselves to go spread our own message of kindness, which there can never be enough bestowed upon somebody who needs it in this lifetime? Because I can guarantee you there's a friend of yours just waiting to hear the words, I love you. So call them or IM them and let them know they're going to hear that from you. You would make me so proud. And don't forget, before you get out of here, to hit my subscribe button. I would love to see a significant boost in subscribers for this YouTube channel and all of these videos. And only you can help Jonathan Clarke realize his dream of becoming the creative director and producer of Disney's Descendants and Zombies, and perhaps the Disney franchise as a whole. I don't know. Hope you love this video, guys. Bye, YouTube. Let's go spread some kindness, as we will do this again later on this evening.